If you're layering on other sleep associations in order to wean one out, so for example, you're weaning out feeding to sleep for your baby, so instead you're going to rock them all the way to sleep, what happens if they then want that new sleep association, aka the rocking? This is where it's like peeling the layers of an onion, which for some reason always makes me think of Shrek. But really, we're getting closer and closer with these sleep associations to your baby being in their cot, being able to put themselves to sleep. And we kind of want them in this process to want to be rocked to sleep, because then what I would get you to do is add in a pat. So whilst you're rocking your baby to sleep, you're going to pat them. And then the next layer of this sleep association onion is to drop the rocking and pat them all the way to sleep in your arms before transferring them. And then when they're familiar with the pat, you would pat in the cot. If they really escalate after 5 minutes of you pat in the cot, you would pick them up until calm, back down, pat. Again, they don't have to self-settle, but we're trading the sleep associations one for another. And then by that stage, when you're able to settle them to sleep, by being patted into their cot or crib, you would just stop, give them a moment to self-settle. They escalate after 5 minutes, pat until calm, and then retreat. But when it comes to feeding to sleep, you sort of either feed to sleep or don't. It's hard to layer on these other things, so we have to do an initial swap for a sleep association, then the layering really can begin. Now, not all babies will take to this process. Sometimes it's either get me up or get me out, when a more traditional sleep training technique might be used. But if your baby loves being assisted to sleep, this is a great way, particularly if you've got no time pressure, in order to teach them to self-settle by layering on sleep associations. The sleep association onion, the parfait, if you will.